So today I'm here with one of my good friends, Jill Talladay, who's the founder of Care for the Cape and Islands. Jill, what exactly is CARE?
CARE is a nonprofit that I started 10 years ago, and the purpose is to get people involved in taking care of Cape Cod and the islands. So it's preserving the natural environment as well as the cultural and historical treasures of the Cape and the islands.
I mean, you started it 10 years ago. It's a great concept that continues to grow every year. What was the motivation behind this? I know that you've been deeply involved in different sales in Cape Cod and the environment. What was the motivation?
I actually worked for many years in the tourism industry, the travel and tourism industry, and I've also been fortunate to live on the Cape for over 30 years. And while I traveled to other areas, and then I would, I'd come back, and I noticed a big difference in over the course of the years. First of all, as far as the population growth. And I saw what other destinations were doing, like in Atlantic Canada, and how they were involving people and really promoting what was local. And I started thinking, what can we do, and how can I get involved in preserving it? Because we thrive and we are so dependent upon the tourism industry. However, if we don't take care of this destination, then people aren't going to want to come here. So it was, finding a balance between the benefit and the impact that all these people, had on the region.
Now, I remember you went down to, it was George Washington University?
Yeah, I went back to school and got my master's degree in sustainable tourism.
And through that process, was it, you met somebody on the West Coast? Help me here, I don't remember exactly where, but it had something similar?
Yeah, that was my first kind of epiphany. There was something called Hotels That Help. And I thought, it was where guests would stay and they would donate like $1 per night towards nonprofits. And then also through the, I had to do an internship with my graduate program. I was connected to the Center for Responsible Travel, and they were holding sustainable tourism conferences or travelers philanthropy conferences. Actually, I went to Costa Rica to help them with their third conference, and I was introduced to an organization that was doing just what CARE is doing. It was travelers philanthropy, engaging their visitors, and both donating money as well as hands-on volunteer service. And I thought, well, gosh, why aren't we doing that on Cape Cod? So that's when I came back and started talking to local businesses and eventually rolled it out.
Yeah, one of the things that we're doing this year with our rentals, our vacation rentals, is we've added a $2 donation with each reservation, and then we're matching it. And I think you got that idea from the Hotels That Care, and it's turning out to be a huge success for our guests.
Yeah, and we're really so grateful, and we need that funding. And it also, it works in many different ways. It provides the funding for a number of the programs that we're doing, and then it also, because you're touching the visitors and the local business community, it's educating them about all the work that we're doing and how they can also get involved. So so thank you, and it's such a win-win for everybody involved.
Exactly, as you said, tourism is what drives the Cape Cod economy. And without tourism and without the natural beauty that we have, what do we have to attract our tourists here to allow us to be fortunate enough to live here?
And it's why so many of us live here now that maybe didn't, we came as a visitor ourselves, and now that's what I did.
I'm a Washer technically, our kids are Washer because they were born in Plymouth.
Right.
So technically they're Washer, but you've done some really cool projects throughout the Cape over the years. I know that we're one of the sponsors for a water bottle refilling station that hopefully will be operational in time for the upcoming season out in Eastham. But what are some of the other projects? Some of them are really cool.
Yeah, it's there are a variety of different things, like I said, that they connect to the environment. So things like at the Mass Audubon Long Pasture, the development of a food forest. So they're growing all native trees and plants and things that are edible. That one was really fun. At the Museum of Natural History, there's a pollinator path. So, without the pollinators, we'd have a real hard time getting our food. We'd be out there with a little Q-tip moving the pollen around and making sure that things would grow. So that is, teaching people about the importance of pollinators and what they are, and about food. We funded things that are cultural heritage based. So in Hyannis, there's a Sea Captains Trail that tells the history of the sea captains, and then there was a mural that also kind of depicts the entryway. We've got projects that are on both islands and from Provincetown to Falmouth. One kind of interesting one on Martha's Vineyard that we funded this past year is the development of it's actually the birthplace of American Sign Language. So it tells, how this community grew and communicated with each other, that were deaf, that were learned how to communicate via sign language. So there are all kinds of really interesting things and so many people, wouldn't even know about them if we weren't providing this funding and promoting them. Right.
It's really cool. I noticed when you go to the Yarmouth transfer station, let's be appropriate here, that you do have signs reminding people where to put their trash and where to put their recycling, and they're fun little signs.
Right. They're part of a Take Care campaign, and it's something that we adopted from Lake Tahoe. And it actually started from the summits that we had, where in 2018 we brought like-minded people together, nonprofits, the municipalities, and a local business community to collaborate together to find solutions to our plastic pollution and litter and marine debris issues. And that's something that actually FORAN Realty helped to we had some of our summits were at the Realtors Conference Center. So thank you for that. You're able to help us to host them there. But it brought all these organizations together to really collaborate. And from that, one of the issues that we came up with, was the fact that, we have 15 different towns, 2 different islands, and each town has different signage. But somebody that comes here doesn't know the difference between them. So we wanted to find a universal messaging campaign. And that's where the Take Care Cape Cod campaign came from. And it's, like you said, they're kind of light and funny, and they get the point across without someone feeling like they're being preached to, or so it's been a really successful campaign. We just, trying to get the word out and get more towns and businesses to adopt them. Yeah,
I know the chambers obviously are very supportive of CARE. And I think a lot of the tourism businesses are starting to jump on board with you as well, in everything that you're doing, which is great. So, you continue to grow. It's hard to believe it was 10 years ago that you came up with this idea, and the sky's the limit on where you're going.
Yeah.
You've got grants, I know that you give out. AmeriCorps volunteers come and help. You had a beach cleanup, I think, was it last week, a couple weeks ago?
Yes, we actually, last year, it was the first year that we were awarded an AmeriCorps member. So one day a week, I had a member who was working with me, and this year we actually have someone working with us for 2 days a week. And so we partnered with them on their MLK Day beach cleanup. 8 different beaches that were cleaned, and I think they had 300 people sign up. So that was a great, great publicity, and I don't know, over 1,000 pounds of trash that they picked up, and wow, in the middle of winter, which is amazing, because it was even snowy that day that we picked up, so it was hard to see some of this stuff. So imagine what we could have done if we could have actually seen the trash.
Exactly. Yeah. I know you rescheduled it, I think, from the original date because of weather.
We did. Yeah. Yes.
The
weather hasn't cooperated with us well, but
we haven't had a blizzard in 5 years, 6 years, and all of a sudden it comes on the day that you're gonna have your first.
Well, that's the thing, that when you have an outdoor event on Cape Cod, and especially in the winter, you just never know. So, but fortunately, people were really. I think it almost benefited us because it gave us more publicity. The announcement of the postponement, and so more people signed up, and because it ended up on a Saturday instead of a even though it was a holiday, not everybody has MLK Day off, so I think it worked actually in our benefit.
Yeah. So where do you see you going in the next 10 years? Any lofty goals that you have that you'd like to see accomplished?
Yeah, I mean, we actually have an opportunity to apply for a NOAA grant, and I mean, that would give us quite a significant amount of money. It's a collaboration with the Center for Coastal Studies and Cape Cod Anti-Litter Coalition. So we're hoping to be successful with that. It would allow us to really work on, the issue of marine debris, and specifically related to restaurants and takeout food. And especially during the pandemic, there was a huge increase in takeout food and takeout containers and masks and gloves and things like that. So we're really hopeful that we can get that grant, and it'll allow us to, I mean, education is such an important piece of what we do. And it's just, we want to get more people involved, more businesses involved, and really, see the messages all over, and just have what you're doing, what FORAN Realty is doing as far as that are participating in our stewardship program, to be kind of a commonplace that every business does that, so that we're not, stretched so thin. We really want to build our capacity, because I'm getting a little tired and I need some help. So
now, obviously you have a board of directors. How big is your volunteer base at this point, if you were to guess, and not to hold you to any kind of number?
Yeah, I mean, I can't give you a number, and it's interesting that people are reach out to me, and they want to volunteer, but I think when they think of volunteering, they think of volunteering for events. And so we're trying to build our committees and get people involved in committees, and getting more structured. And so we do have a small board. We also want to build that as well. And every one of them works full time. So, so it's just trying to, so anybody that's interested in what we're doing, we would welcome having them get involved. And like I say, getting involved on a regular basis on the committees would be really helpful. But we always have something that is a one-off if somebody just can't commit to an ongoing.
Yeah, sure. Obviously you're having success with the businesses. Are you having any success getting into the schools? Because I would think if you could get into especially the elementary levels and get the message out, that it will help as those children become young adults and adults.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like your kids. I mean, if we getting kind of, brainwashing them to a certain extent and getting them to learn at a young age. And then it's interesting when you teach a kid something, they start talking to their parents and, well, Mom, Dad, why aren't you doing this? So absolutely. We have, there was a cartoonist who called me one day just out of the blue. He heard something about us on the radio, and he wanted to offer up doing something. And so we're like, yeah, great. Let me take it to the board. Let me think of, what that could be. And in the meantime, while we're trying to figure it out on our end, he started doodling, and he came up with this amazing Cape Crusaders. It's, kids and capes and the picture of them doing the Cape arm thing. And so we took that, we worked with him on what the messages would be. And so we've introduced that at the schools. We even my AmeriCorps member went last summer, and she did a program for one of the classes. They liked it. So we zoomed in, and they had 5 second grade classes that we presented to. And yeah, it was so we're hoping to do more of that. And, again, it's all limited by our capacity, but if we can do it via Zoom, then you can get to a lot more people. Really, it's even though we like to see people in person, Zoom has actually become our friend. It really has. It's just a time saver, and you can get to a lot more people. Yes, we're absolutely educating the kids, and from that also that Cape Crusaders, we created these activity sheets. So we used the beautiful poster that he did. also made it black and white so the kids could color. And then on the back, there are two different ones, one related to sea and one related to land, and different little, circle the word and word search, all those kind of things. So, if a kid's sitting there waiting for a meal or whatever, they can, or if it's a rainy day, there's an activity that they can again learn. And so.
Well, you talk about my kids, and obviously you know them, and they remind us this goes in the recycling, and they put this in the recycling. The trash container that comes out of the closet has two bins, and one they've got for recycling and one they've got for trash, and they'll remind us, Mommy, Daddy, that doesn't go there; it goes here. So obviously your message is at least being heard by them, and I'm sure it's being heard by.
Well, and I gave Emma a book on, like being great. Emma's, I forget what it is, but it was like another little brainwashing thing, just, how to be eco-friendly. And
oh yeah. And now she's, first grader, she's learning to read, and she's reading to us, and she's all proud of herself that she can read. And so it's all working.
Yeah.
It's all working.
That's good. That's good.
So if somebody wants to support CARE, how can they possibly do that? Obviously cash donations and things, but are there other ways that people can help your organization and get involved?
Yeah, and like I say, any volunteering is fabulous. Anyone that is knowledgeable about something that when we talk about Travelers Philanthropy, it's time, talent, and treasure. So donations are always appreciated. But yes, volunteering on a committee, getting involved in one of our cleanups, and any kind of an in-kind donation or promoting what we're doing is really really appreciated. So yeah, there are plenty of ways for someone to get involved.
And you're a nonprofit, so they get tax advantages when they make donations to you.
Right. Yeah, and just spreading the word and getting other people to know about what we're doing is.
Yeah. You do awesome work, Joe.
Thanks, Patrick.
So your website, we'll put it up at the end, but what is your website?
careforthecapeandislands.org, and CARE stands for Creating a Responsible Environment.
Great. Awesome. So go to the website, you can check it all out, and I'm sure Jill would appreciate hearing from everybody that might be interested in donating their time, obviously donations, ideas, anything that you can do. But we're certainly a proud supporter, have been for a number of years, and we encourage other businesses on the Cape to join with us in supporting CARE, protecting our environment and protecting our livelihood. Really is what it comes down to.
It is.
Thank you very much, Jill.
Thanks for everything you're doing, Pat.
Always a pleasure.